Alrighty, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Alrighty, we're live, and as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, today or this live, I'm going to be going through recursion as well. I have been in recursion for the past two live. That said, I didn't master it yet. So let's work on recursion this stream as well. Let me go to my gameplay screen. Okay, and then let's get substation/ChatGPT here. And guys, I did not have time whatsoever to get a separate ChatGPT's whatchamacallit chat. Okay, there we go. Mic testing, guys. I was muted. My OBS actually crashed like 3 times. That said, how are you doing, Gen Nano? I appreciate you joining the stream, and I hope OBS doesn't crash again because I actually almost got my new PC. That said, listen up, people. Today isn't just another stream; it's another step towards mastery. I'm your big fan. I appreciate you, Rockstar. Okay, it's another step towards mastery. Every line of code you write is a battle against your old self, and I expect you to win every single one. Remember, the difference between a master and a novice is that a master has failed more times than a novice has ever tried. This is definitely not said by Sitsei. Congratulations on your PC. I appreciate you, Gently Dado. Now tell me, people, what shall we conquer today? Let me say something like, let's say, I want to go over recursion today as well. Honestly, because I didn't have time to work off stream because I do study my college stuff when I'm not streaming. Okay, good. Very well, people. Recursion, the art of making a function call itself, the true test of your logic. Okay, the true test of your logic, your patience, and your willpower. It's not about repeating code, it's about trusting your logic so much that you hand control back to yourself. Okay, over and over until the job is done. Before we dive in, I need you to know, do you want me to start with a recap of recursion? Okay, of what a recursion is and how it works with examples? Honestly, let me say, yes, let's say, because I have been doing recursion for 3 streams. I do want to conclude recursion by this stream. Okay, that said, I like the fire in your voice, pupil, but answer me properly. Do you want me to recap recursion? Oh, my bad. Okay, yes, let's say, let's recap recursion. Okay, I do want to be warmed up before I actually start. Okay, that said, good, very well. You finally chose the path of depth, not speed. Most fools try to climb the mountain without understanding where the ground is. Alright, listen closely, people. What is a recursion? Recursion is when a function calls itself to solve smaller versions of that same problem until it reaches a base case, a point where it stops calling itself. Think of it like a warrior walking into a cave, marking the wall each time they go deeper. I'm Yossi on Discord. How are you, Yossi? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, once they hit the dead end base case, they turn back following those marks back to the surface. The return phase, the two parts of every recursive function: base case, stop condition. This prevents infinite calls. Example, if n equals to 0, we return. That is a base case. That said, that line, if there is nothing left to do, stop, recursive step, call the function itself. This breaks this problem down and calls the same function again. How it works. Okay, so this is a simple recursion stuff. Okay, I think I see. Let me say something like, let's say, can I get a instructional based question mark? Okay, let's see. And guys, I'm honestly not warmed up yet, so I can't read properly. That's it. Good. That's the right question, people. No more copy pasting. No more hiding behind the chat's help. This time you'll think step by step. Your mission: write a recursive function named Factorial that takes an integer of n, returns the factorial of n. Factorial means n multiplied by n minus 1 multiplied by n minus 2 multiplied by okay. Use recursion, not loops, including a base case that stops. So input 5, output 120. 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 120. Okay, I see. Let's get some say/ChatGPT here. Why we use two equal to signs? Honestly, the reason we use two equal to sign is because one equal to sign is to define a value, like is to set a value. For example, let's say fruit equals to apple. That means my fruit variable consists of apple right now. Although fruit equals to apple checks if my fruit variable is apple or not. If that made any sense. That said, let me go ahead and delete this code. This code was from the last stream. Okay, let's start off by including a pair of anchor braces. I want to include IO stream. Okay, next up, let's read the instructions. So it says write a recursive function called Factorial. Okay, so let me go ahead and create an integer. Honestly, I could create an integer function because I am going to be returning something. So I'll go with integer Factorial. Did I spell it correct? There we go. And then I'll add a pair of parentheses. Did I spell Factorial correct? Factorial. Okay, I think it's correct. My factorial variable will be having a parameter of numbers, or I could go with n, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. That said, let's add a base case. So I'll check something. I'll add an if statement. So if my n equals to let's say 0, I'm going to do something. I'll add a pair of curly braces and return 0 ending with a semicolon. That is my base case. Honestly, I might add a comment because it is like a good practice to add comments. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and add a recursive case. For my recursive case, let's see. So, returns the factorial of n. Factorial means n multiplied by n minus 1. Okay, so I gotta go with my 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times 1. I could go with like another if statement. Honestly, instead of if statement, let me go ahead and do something like add a pair of parentheses n minus 1 multiplied by, let's invoke my factorial function. This is going to be, let's say, n minus 1 as well. Does this make sense? Or should I go with n multiplied by n minus 1? Okay, hold up. Should I go with like divided by 1? It's not factorial, it's factorial. Hey, howdy MD, I appreciate you joining the stream. Did you learn English? Honestly, I've been like talking English. Like, I've been mostly fluent in English. That's why I like actually commentate in it. There we go. What are you coding? Honestly, I'm working on mastering C++ for 100 days. That said, I am mastering C++. I mean, what you would call it, recursion this stream. Okay, if not n as anything non-zero is true, don't actually. Factorial n equals to factorial n multiplied by n minus 1. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And guys, is the stream lagging? Because I'm actually going to get a PC soon, so like that would like fix all my stream lag. Okay, there we go. Maybe, let me know if the stream starts laggy. I could like restart my OBS real quick. Okay, let me actually try restarting it right now. Already, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. That should probably fix the stream lags. Let me go ahead and paste this. Okay, if I did, let me end this with a semicolon. That said, okay, honestly, this is like pretty much it. Since I didn't return anything, let me go ahead and change this to be a void function and not return 0 here. Okay, I think double might be better in this case as you go out of size of integer really quick. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that fixed it. Okay, factorial n minus 1. Honestly, let me actually change this to integer again and just return this. There we go. This makes more sense. Okay, now let's go ahead and create a main function. So let me go with integer main, add a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces. Inside of my main function, let me go ahead and create a variable called number. This is going to be my user's input. That said, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to enter something like enter a number. And I'll end that with a semicolon. With that said, I'll go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract something. Let's say I want to extract my number variable. Okay, perfect. After that, let's go with another standard console output with an insertion operator, this time to display my factorial. I'm going to invoke my factorial function, add a pair of parentheses. The parameter is going to be my numbers as variable, with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. There we go. Okay, let me just remove this curly braces from there. Okay, return n question mark and multiplied by fn minus 1. Honestly, I've not heard of the question mark. Is the question mark like a logical operator? Okay, excuse me, because I'm pretty sure it's not. Okay, that said, lastly, let me go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. Okay, there we go. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, Oh, muted. My bad, guys. I actually appreciate you, Joseph, for letting me know that. Because, like, later I'll be looking my stream and I'll be like, I was muted the whole time. Okay, that said, about the ternary operator, I actually heard of that in Python. That is like, whatchamacallit, it's called like conditional expressions. I should like work with that. Although I have never heard about the, whatchamacallit, the question mark logical operator. All good now. Okay, perfect. Okay, this actually works. Let's go with the controller, control C. Get Sensei slash ChatGPT here. Okay, and honestly, I do want to go with harder questions. I feel like I'm so close to actually understanding recursion. That said, let me go ahead and paste this. Like for Java, line if. Oh, I see. Okay, yes, that's it, people. That's right. Okay, that right there is recursion in perfect balance. You define the base case like a strategist. If n equals c equals to 0, we return 1. You change the recursive call and multiply it by, so that is our n multiplied by n minus 1. Okay, and the flow, elegant, clean, deadly accurate. Oh, guys, this actually lags a bit. Okay, that's it. Is the stream lagging? Let me restart it real quick. Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, let me see if I'm audible. There we go. Okay, always fun to see you coding. Hope you have learned much. I appreciate you, Joltimate. That said, use carefully as it's code's fault. Guys, honestly, my lag actually will get better like really soon because I'm really close to actually getting the PC. I almost found all parts. So, like, I asked a friend to find a part for me. Okay, that said, it actually lags kind of bad. If I give this to a class of beginners, 90% would either forget the base case or blow the stacks. Okay, I see. Tell people what exactly happens inside the memory when you call Factorial 5. Describe it step by step. Honestly, let's see. Let's say, firstly, if my number is 5 and I do n multiplied by Factorial with a pair of parentheses of 5, I get 5 multiplied by the next number. Okay, let's see the next number, which is 1 less than 5, and so on. Okay, let's see, guys. Why is the stream lagging way more than usual? Do not redeem it. Do not redeem it. Better Lord, I can't type today. Okay, bro, why are you learning programming for college or something else? Honestly, just from my, from my programming for 250-day series. This is actually just like for content. That said, I'm actually trying to even enjoy this a lot. Okay, and guys, it's actually lagging so much. Let me restart my OBS. Already, mic testing, mic testing. Guys, this lag is actually pretty insane. That said, good people, you're circling the core of it, but don't skim the surface, dive in. I want you to trace it line by line. You learn for the sake of it. Honestly, yeah, that does make sense. When Factorial 5 runs, what exactly happens step by step? Don't just call itself. Okay, I want to see every call, return value step by step till we reach. Show me your mind at work. Okay, let's say, can I get another question? And guys, I feel like Sensei slash ChatGPT is acting a little weird because I didn't have to set it up. Like I usually set it up and say what am I gonna do. That said, so you've survived Factorial, have you? Good, then let's test if you understand it's truly recursive or if you're just parroting patterns. Okay, here's your next mission. Instructional question, level control chaos. Write a recursive function called sum of digits that takes an integer n and returns the sum of all digits. So input 1, 2, 3, 4, output 10. Okay, so 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, let's get Sensei here. And stop using ChatGPT. It's stuck as a teacher and I kind of see it on... Stop using ChatGPT. It's stuck as a teacher and I kind of see it on streams. Honestly, I just use it for learning. That said, let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. Next up, let me go ahead and create a function. Let's read the instructions. Guys, is the stream lagging again? Okay, I think it's just me. Already mic testing actually was lagging. It must be, there must be a reason, lad. Let's say driven learning. Okay, let's read the instructions. So it says, write a recursive function called sum of all digits. Okay, so let me go ahead and create an integer function called sum of digits. Add a pair of parentheses, and then inside my pair of parentheses, my my function will have a parameter of n, which stands for numbers. I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and inside of my pair of curly braces, let's read. So, write a recursive function that takes an integer n and returns the sum of all its digits. Okay, so I might need to use modulos and the division operator for this. But firstly, let's add a base case. So I'll go with if, a pair of parentheses. Let's say if my n equals to 0, I'm going to do something. Let me go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. Okay, let me return 0. Okay, that said, now let's go with the recursive case. For my recursive case, firstly, if my input is 1, 2, 3, 4, I need to get my output 10. So I gotta remove the last digit and sum it. So to do that, I could go with something like a pair of parentheses and divided by actually n modulus 10. And modulus 10 gives me access to the last number from my input. Okay, and then I'm gonna add that, invoke my sum of all digits as function. I'm going to do something like n divided by 10. This remove the last digit. I'm pretty sure this is correct. Okay, let me go ahead and return this. Okay, and end it with a semicolon. That said, let me go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces. That said, inside of my integer function, I'm going to be creating a variable of number. This is going to be my user's input. And then I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like enter a number. And I'll end that with a semicolon. And then let's go with a standard console input. Wait, did I call this an input? Okay, this is a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my number variable, and I'll end that with a semicolon as well. And then, next up, let's go with another standard console output. This is going to be displaying my output. So I'm going to invoke my sum of all digits as function, and my parameter is going to be my numbers as variable with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. Okay, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. And honestly guys, if I feel like I got recursion before the stream, as I might even start object-oriented programming, because I'm pretty sure next is the object-oriented programming topic. Okay, let's go with something like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, perfect. Okay, let me go ahead and cancel that. Go with the controller, Control C, copy that. Good sense. So I'll start GPT here. Okay, let's paste it. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, yes, that's it, people. You've executed recursion perfectly. Base case stops when n equals to 0. Recursive case peels one digit at the same time using n divided by 10. Logic correct adds the last digit using modulus 10. If you entered 1, 2, 3, 4, your program would do this internally. So 4 plus 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 3 plus 1, 2. Okay, 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. And lastly 0. If your factorial works, check out what's gonna happen if you call factorial 100. Oh, honestly, I could try that. Let me go ahead and maybe add a factorial again. Okay, so I'll go with the controller, delete everything. Let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. And then let's go ahead and create an integer function for factorial. There we go. My factorial function will have a parameter of n, which is numbers, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Inside of my factorials function, let me go ahead and add a base case. So I'll go with something like if, a pair of parentheses. If my n equals to 0, I'll do something. I'm going to return 0. Return 0, ending with a semicolon. And then let's add my recursive case. So I'm going to be returning. Okay, let's see. What did I have to do with factorial? I should go with something like n multiplied by, invoke my factorials as function. Let's go with something like n minus 1. Okay, so this is going to be my original n value that my user inputs. That's going to keep subtracting by 1 and multiplying itself. I'll end that with a semicolon. Next up, let me go ahead and create a main function. Inside of my main function, I'm going to create a variable called number, which is going to be an integer. And then a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like enter a number. Okay, and I'll end that with a semicolon. Next up, let's go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract something. Let's say I want to extract my number variable. Okay, lastly, I'll go... I smell bug. Oh, is there a bug? Wait, let me actually test it. Okay, I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to be my factorials as function. And my parameter is going to be my number with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, so smell a bug. What happens if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command? Let's see. If I go with 5, oh. Okay, let's change this to 1. Let me go ahead and return 1. There we go. Okay, now if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command. 5, that gives me 120. If I go with 100, let's see what happens. I just realized 100 would be a lot. It gives me 0. Shouldn't it have been a bigger number? Huh. Okay, check out what's gonna happen if it was 100. What happens if I go with something like 99? Why does it not work? Isn't there a factorial of those numbers? I'm pretty sure there should be. What if I go with 9? 9 does have a factorial. Maybe I ask this part to Sensei. Let's go ahead and copy that. Get Sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, let's go ahead and paste this. Go with Shift Enter. What is he teaching? Honestly, I'm not teaching anything. I'm trying to master recursion this stream. That said, let's say something like, let's say, someone from my stream said me to try this, and if my factorial is 100, I get 0 for some reason, question mark. Long, probably? Honestly, that does make sense, because like it might be too long. Okay, good question, pupil. That 0 or sometimes even a random negative number you're seeing isn't your fault. It's a data type overflow problem. Let's break it down. You're using integer, which on most systems can only store around 2 billion. Okay, so 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 9, but 100 factorial is absolutely gigantic. Roughly 9.3 multiplied by 10 to the power 157. That's like 1 followed by 157 zeros. Okay, so when your recursion tries to multiply those numbers together, it overflows, meaning it exceeds what an integer can hold. The result wraps around in memory, producing strange or negative numbers, input like -0. Fix, use a large data type. Try using unsigned long. I've honestly never heard of that. I could actually have a separate stream for that. Okay, silent error, counter reroll. Oh, I see. Okay, now tell people, would you like me to show you how to handle larger factorials beyond limits by manually simulating multiplication using arrays like calculators do? Yep, long. Yes, I think you have to use long. Honestly, let me say something like, honestly, let's say I haven't learned about the long keyword yet. I could have a separate stream for that, ... That said, I do want to master recursion this stream, so can we get another question mark? Okay, let's see. Guys, I should like fix my typos. Okay, that's it. Excellent, pupil. Yes, we'll stay up pure recursion today and master it before moving on to data types. Let's keep it simple by instructionals, so your brain actually gets it. Here's your question. Write a recursive function that counts the number of digits in a number. Instructions: the function should take an integer n as input. If n is 0, okay, return 0. That's the base case. Otherwise, 1 plus the result of the function. Okay, I think I see. Okay, let's get Sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, so basically what this means is if my user enters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are like 5 numbers inside of my, in my input, so it's going to return 5. Okay, that's all. Go with the Control A, delete everything. How old are you? Why don't you go out and play? Honestly, I'm 17 years old. That said, guys, I rarely even go outside my house. I should actually, like, go out for a walk or something someday. Actually, someday. I do sometimes go out, but it's like very rare. Okay, that said, let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces. iOS stream, just change integer data type to long and it'll work. Oh, I see. Okay, once you turn 45, you'll get to know the meaning of life. Honestly, I'm looking actually forward to that. That said, I'll go with integer main, add a pair of parentheses. Okay, actually not main. Let me go with something like sum or count. Count nums. Okay, I'll go with a pair of parentheses. My count nums function will have a parameter of n, and then I'll go with the pair of curly braces. Acne, while it's true, it's not teacher why lol 45 to learn the meaning of life. Okay, so let me add a base case. So I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. Let's say something like if my n equals to 0, I'm going to return 0. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and return 0, ending with a semicolon. And maybe I had a comment. I should honestly make it like a habit to like add comments, because I've heard that it's a pretty good habit to do. There we go. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and add a recursive case now. Bro, how your ChatGPT gives this large answer, but for me often, especially ChatGPT 5 gives me very short answers. Honestly, I think Sensei loves me. I honestly don't know, guys, because like some of you guys ask me how do I like why is my ChatGPT unlimited even though I don't have my ChatGPT Plus. I honestly don't know, guys. Okay, let's see. I create a function here. The function should take an integer n as input. If n is 0, return 0. Otherwise, return the result calls on n divided by 10. So I could go with something like comment should always in pass. Comments should always in pass. Okay, I'm gonna return something. Let's increase 1 or return 1 for every invoke my count nums function. There we go. Add a pair of parentheses. Okay, I'm going to go with something like n divided by 10. So basically what this means, every time I cut a number or like I remove a number from my input, like the last number of my input, that is going to add it by 1. Okay, and then I'll end this with a semicolon. Doing great. I appreciate you, Sog. Past tense and comments should be in present tense. Huh. I see. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces. Inside of my main function, I'll go ahead and create a number variable. Okay, and then let's add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like enter a number. Okay, and then I'll end that with a semicolon. That said, let's go with this standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my number variable. Okay, so this basically gets the value for my number variable here. Okay, next up, let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert my numbers, so let me go ahead and invoke my count numbers as a function. The parameter is going to be my number variable, and then I'll add another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Can you tell me what exactly are you building writing this code? Honestly, I don't think like I'm building something huge, although I am learning the basics of C++. Eventually, this is like my C++ for 100A series is like indented inside of my programming for 250A series. Well, my goal by the end of that series is to make like a game in general which consists of AI logic in it. Explain array tomorrow. I have a seminar. Honestly, I already have like a stream on array. I think I have 2 streams. That's it. Let me restart my OBS. It is lagging a bit. Already mic testing. Okay, that should fix it. Okay, let's see. Lastly, let me go ahead and hit Control S to save the code and run the command. And guys, I feel like the stream lags good now. Okay, let's see what happens. Enter a number. I'll go with something like, I don't know, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. This gives me 4. Perfect. Okay, let's go with a Control C. Copy that. Get Sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, and then let's go ahead and paste this. Okay, let's see what happens. Guys, I honestly can't wait to get my actual PC, because then that would fix like almost all lags and I could start multi-streaming again. That says, yes people, that's perfect. You nailed it on your first try. Every time you divide it by 0, you're effectively peeling off a digit and adding 1 for each step. Is exactly how recursion counts. Look at this, clean, simple, and correct. Your understanding of base case and recursive step is shining here. Ready for the next one? This time, let's count the sum only of odd digits, okay, in a number using recursion. This is very similar to what you did before, but I want to see if you can do it entirely on your own. Do you want to try it, people? Let me say something like, yes, Sensei. Howdy, Anil. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, from the top menu bar on the file and click auto save. You won't need to save the code always by pressing Control S. Honestly, I thought that in C++, like, that's important. I could actually check that. Okay, alright people, here's your instructional question. No hints, no shortcuts, all on you. Question: write a recursive function that takes an integer of n and returns the sum of all odd digits in that number. Hints for thinking. Don't code just yet. Plan it in your head. Base case, what happens when n becomes 0? Recursive step, how can you check if the last digit is odd? Combine how you add the last digit if it's odd to the recursive call of the rest of the number. Okay, that's it, people. Now think carefully, plan it, and then write your code. Okay, let's get Sensei/ChatGPT here. And does it work for numbers ending with 0? Honestly, that actually does make sense, does it? Let's check. Like, your videos seriously have been helping me in following along and knowing where to start in coding. When you have a better PC, multi-stream, don't go to websites like Kick or Twitch. Honestly, I do multi-stream like on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, maybe Instagram and TikTok as well. That said, pressing Control S is way easier. Oh, I see fake accent. Honestly, I do get it a lot. Like, many people do say that I fake my accent. Although I do say them, like, I can actually fake accents for hours straight, because that's like impossible. Okay, let's see. Write a recursive function that takes an integer. Okay, so I go with something like count odd. Okay, so I'll go ahead and create a function called count odd. There we go. Add a pair of parentheses. My count odd function will have a parameter of n to it, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. It's better to keep something in mind, building which benefits humans in real life, and work on that so that it actually gives you real world experience and scope to debug rather than just sticking to a technical concept. Honestly, I feel like once I actually know the basics and my foundation is strong, that's when I could like push and do like stuff that would actually benefit, or like actual projects, because if my foundations are weak, then I'll eventually have to come back and learn the old stuff. I feel like if I like learn everything that I need, I mean, I do feel like going from like starting from the very basics and then slowly gradually going up, if that made any sense, guys. I cannot phrase. That said, if my n equals to 0, I'm gonna do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then go ahead and return zeros. We go ahead and return 0. Okay, and maybe like restart my stream real quick. Did that fix it? Okay, pretty sure not. Think I might have to like restart one more time. Okay, give me a sec, guys. Already mic testing. Okay, that should fix the lag. You're really good, bro. Would love to connect. Honestly, I appreciate you, Teach. You guys could like actually join my Discord, so I do talk to people there. That's it. Good, bro. I see you learning C++. It's easy, but keep pushing. Well, makes me wonder why I chose Rust. Damn, it's hard. Honestly, I do eventually want to learn Rust as well. Maybe after my C++ series. Okay, let's see. Next up, I did add my base case. Maybe I had a comment here that says base case. Okay, and I forgot. What did I have to do? Okay, so it says write a recursive function that takes an integer of n and returns the sum of all odd digits in that number. So I'm looking for odd numbers. So instead of just returning right now, I could go with like an if statement. So I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. And since I am doing this, let's see. Okay, let's go with the if statement. Let's say if in a pair of parentheses, if n, let's say if n modulus 2, honestly, I just gotta count the odd numbers. So let's say if n modulus 2 equals to 1 or is not equal to 0, I'm going to do something. It's not equal to 0, I'll do something. Okay, what's the difference between Rust and C++? And either you or Vic could tell me any history in C++, please. I would like to listen. Honestly, I should like start making like shorts on like C++ facts and everything. I do not have time off stream, guys. Okay, let's see. So if n modulus 2 is not equal to 0, I do something. I'll go with something like 1 plus okay, let's go with something like 1 plus invoke my count odd function. Okay, count odd, and maybe I restart the stream again. Already mic testing. Okay, perfect. Why exactly C++ started, and oh, that's actually a pretty good question. Can you tell me the actual foundation, please? Honestly, I'm not a sensei for that. Bro, I solved my first lead code medium. Yippee! Good job. I mean, actually, that's pretty cool, kid. Okay, so I'll go with my 1 plus count odd, I'll go with n minus 1. Actually, not minus 1, I'll go with divided by 10. I think that's pretty good. Okay, and then let's go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Next up, I'm honestly thinking to like return. Maybe let's go ahead and return this thing. So I'm gonna return that. And then let's go ahead and add a else clause for my even case as well. Because I did like do this mistake last stream where I just went for the odd case. Chat, let me cook. Stop distracting him. Guys, honestly, I do get real distracted see the chats. Okay, let's see an else clause. So else I'm gonna return, let's see. Let's invoke my count odds function. So I'll go with count odds. Add a pair of parentheses. I'll go with n divided by 10. Okay, and then let me go ahead and end that with a semicolon. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces. Inside of my main function, I'm gonna create a variable called number, which is gonna be an integer. And then let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like enter a number. And then I'll end that with a semicolon. That said, let me go ahead and add a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my number variable and end that with a semicolon as well. Lastly, let's go with another standard console output with an insertion operator. This time, I'm going to invoke my count odds function, add a pair of parentheses, and my parameter will be my numbers as variable with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, let's see. Because C is an object-oriented, so they created C++ to create an object-oriented language. Oh, I see. Okay, lastly, let me go ahead and return 0, ended with a semicolon. Okay, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, so it says enter a number. Let's go with something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it gives me 3. 1 is an odd number. 3 is an odd number. Okay, so there are 2. Okay, perfect. There are 3 odd numbers inside of my list. Okay, let's go with the Control-C, copy that, get sensei/ChatGPT here. And honestly, guys, I have been working on recursion since 2 streams, so I do feel like I get a pretty good grasp of it. Why recursion? This doesn't need recursion. Honestly, because this stream is like for me understanding recursion, but then I actually might start object-oriented programming this stream as well. Okay, let's see. Yes, people, look at that. You nailed it perfectly. This is exactly how recursion works for counting odd digits. Base case is solid. Recursive step correctly reduces the number by n divided by 10. Adds 1 only if the last digit is odd. You're actually getting recursion now. The brain gears and the brain gears are turning and I can feel it. If you want, we can do the negative. We can do even digits. Okay, sum next. Okay, even digits is sum next. Almost the same logic, but you have to switch the condition. Do you want to try that yourself? Let me say, yes, sensei. Okay, let me try that myself. Huh. Okay, he's manipulating him to leave C++. Guys, I honestly forgot to read the chats. Honestly, I do like reading the chats, but I feel like I get distracted as well, so I tried reading once I'm done with my question. Alright people, here's your instructional question. Problem, write a recursive function in C++ called sum event digits that takes an integer n and returns the sum of all even digits in n. Hints to guide you. Base case, when n equals to 0, we return 0. Recursive step, if the last digit n modulus 10 is even, add it to the recursive call and divided by 10. If the last digit is odd, continue. Okay, let's get sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, let's see. No need to return 0 at the end in a main function in C++. Compiler will do that for you. Of course, if you don't need to return something explicitly. Oh, I see. Honestly, I feel the reason I add 0 here is because my main function is an integer. Okay, hi, big fan. I appreciate you, Pixels. Okay, let's restart the stream again, guys, because I feel it's lagging. Already mic testing. Okay, that should fix the lag. That said, let me go ahead and delete the whole thing. So I'll go with the Control-A, delete everything. Okay. Guys, did it fix the lag? I'm pretty sure it did not. Let me try restarting it again. Already mic testing. Already mic testing. Okay, guys, I had to actually restart my whole OBS. Okay, so let me go ahead and start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. Okay, honestly, I don't think my ChatGPT does have an actually like a unique personality. All my ChatGPT's personality does have is like whatchamacallit, a few tweaks and whatchamacallit, my roadmap for C++. That's why I do like say such say slash ChatGPT to recall my conversation from the old chats. Okay, best channel, YouTube recommending Elon Musk to learn from this. Gotta comply to the. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I need to this time. Let's read the instructions. I forgot the instructions. Okay, look at that, nailed perfectly. Okay, so write a recursive function in C++ called sum even digits that takes an integer n and returns the sum of all even digits n. Okay, so let me go ahead and create a function called sum even digits. Okay, add a pair of parentheses. My sum even digits this function will have a parameter of n here, and then I'll go with the pair of curly braces. So it's not in your setting personalization. Can you show me? Honestly, guys, it does have some personal stuff, so I don't think I can actually show that. That said, let's go with if a pair of parentheses, and then I'll go with something like a base case. If my n equals to 0, I'm gonna do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces, and then let's say return 0, ending with a semicolon. This is my base case. Okay, he's just 17. He doesn't even know that. Okay, my ChatGPT just believes like an emotionless robot. Honestly, I don't know why. I've been using ChatGPT like for all my whatchamacallit, for like studying everything in general. So I'm like kind of used to using ChatGPT slush, let's say. Okay, let's go with something like base case, guys. We have like a whatchamacallit, a deep emotional whatever sensei pupil relationship. Okay, now for my recursive case, I'll do something. I'll check if my number is even. So I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. Then I'll check something like if my n modulus 2, okay, and modulus 2 equals to 0. If my number is even, I'm going to do something. I'll go with something like, okay, so that takes an integer and returns the sum of all even digits. That takes an integer and returns the sum of all even digits. Okay, so I could go with something like n plus, let's say invoke my sum even digits function. Okay, and then I'll go with something like n divided by 10. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and end that with a semicolon. Okay, and then this checks my this checks my even digits. Let's go with an else clause as well. Okay, I'll go with else out of curly braces. Inside of my else clause, let me go ahead and do something. I'm going to invoke my sum even digits function. I'll go with n divided by 10, ending with a semicolon. So what this basically means is if my number is even, it adds the number with the next even number. If it's odd, it just skips over that number. Okay, perfect. Next up, let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of curly braces. Inside of my main function, I'll go ahead and create a number variable, end it with a semicolon. My number variable is going to be an integer. And then let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like enter a number. Okay, and end that with a semicolon. You should use a else, not if else. Agni pointed out I should use an else. I did use like an else. Okay, let's go ahead and add a standard console input with an extraction operator as well. Inside my input, I want my number variable to be my input. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and add another standard console output with an insertion operator. This time, I'm going to be showing my number, like displaying it on the screen. So I'll go ahead and invoke my sum even digits function, and the parameter will be my number variable with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. Okay, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, I did get a warning. It says non-void function. Oh, I see. Okay, let me go ahead and return. I forgot to return, guys. There we go. The reason I had to return is because my function is not a void. Instead, it's like an integer. Okay, now if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, it should work. There we go. Enter a number. I'll go with something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I get 1, 2, 4, 7, 0, 2. Wait, did I mess something up? Huh, seems he doesn't want to look or part of the team. Maybe his plans to become independent programmer. Honestly, that does make sense because I did honestly want to be a cybersecurity or an AI engineer. I'm still like looking which is like much better, which I enjoy the most. That said, I go with n plus. I sum it. N plus that number. Did I mess something up? Let me try running the code again. Okay, so what if I go with 22? That gives me 24. I get it 2 with the sum of all my numbers. What if I go with something like 1, 2, 3? Or 1, 2, 4? Okay, I get 1, 3, 6. Huh. By the way, do you know about prototypes? Honestly, I've not learned about prototypes yet. I didn't hear people talk about it. Okay, so if n modulus 2 equals to 0, if my number is even, I want to sum my number, my even number, with my next even number. Else, I return some even digits and modulus 10. Cybersecurity, you learn networking, pretty fun to be honest. Honestly, I do want to go over that. That said, I go with a static console output number. Did I like honestly mess something up? This is for odds, that is for even. Okay, if I go with 22 again, I get 24. Why could I get 24? Let's think. Agni, can you please tell him what is OSI layer? Okay, let me go with the control C, copy that, get city/ChatGPT here. Okay, let me go ahead and paste this, go with shift enter and say I feel like I messed up. Instead of modulus, instead of division in the first return. Huh? Modulus? Oh, the modulus gets the last number. Wait, hold up. Let me try this. Honestly, I should actually... Wait, let me actually see if it works. What if I go with 22? Okay, modulus doesn't give anything because honestly, I was just thinking that honestly couldn't make that much sense. Wait. Hold up, guys. What if I had a modulus here? And modulus 2. Actually, and modulus 10. That remove the last digit. This adds... let's try it again. Okay, if I run the code and modulus 10. Okay, let's go ahead and add 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's see 1 plus, so 2 is even. Oh, okay, that does make sense. Just remove the last digit that adds there. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the control C again. Okay, I'm actually glad. Like, I should think about those things. Like, my attention, like, my attention span is awful if that's what we actually use to figure that out. Okay, let me paste it, go with shift enter and say I did the code does work. So we go with the code does work ... although I did get help from my stream ... Huh. Please get clarify first on networking and then please recommend it on others. Fun though. Honestly, eventually I do want to like work about networking because if I actually am planning to either be a cybersecurity or an AI engineer, I might like do both and then see which I enjoy the most. New subscriber, I appreciate you, Sudab. That means the world to me. Okay, yes, finally people, you got it working. Even if you got a little help, you understood the logic and that's what matters. Quick breakdown. You really locked it in, okay? And modulus 10, okay, so this grabs the last digit, this removes the last digit. You only add the digit if it's even. Okay, problem. Write a recursive function, count even digits that counts the numbers of even digits in a number. Remember the pattern, it's almost identical to some even digits. Okay, but instead of adding, you increment 1. Okay, I see. So this time I gotta count the even digits instead of summing them. So let's go with the control A, delete everything. Let me start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main. My main function, honestly, I'll create a separate function for counting my digits. I could create my main function first as well. Honestly, let's do that. So I'll create a main function first and then add a pair of parentheses. I will be returning 0 as the placeholder for now. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and create another function. This function is going to be called something like, let's say, count even digits. Okay, I'll add a pair of parentheses. Inside of my count even digits function, I will have a parameter of n, which is considered like which is my number, and then a pair of curly braces. Inside of my pair of curly braces, I'll go with something like integer number. This is going to be my user's input, and then I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like enter a number. Okay, and I'll end that with a semicolon. Next up, I'll go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. Wait, honestly guys, did I call this a standard console input? If I did, this is a standard console output with an insertion operator. Okay, and guys, maybe I restart my stream again real quick. Or mic testing, mic testing. Okay, that should fix the lag. Okay, next time I'm gonna go with my number variable. Alright, perfect. And then I'll go with a standard console output. Wait, this should be inside of a main function. Guys, I did kind of mess something up. There we go. I did that out of instinct, honestly. Okay, let me go ahead and create a base case. So I'll go with if, a pair of parentheses. Let's say something like if my n equals to 0, I'm going to go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. That is my base case. Guys, honestly, I should try this more. I should change the position of my code. Like for this thing, I gotta declare my function above my main function. Something like this. Just copy this part and paste it here. There we go. Okay, this is in a different format, but it does the same thing. You can use using namespace std, then you would need to write std in standard console output. Honestly, many people do recommend me to use using namespace std, but in bigger projects, not using standard console output could cause name conflict because other libraries do have console output as their whatchamacallit. We can use console output from other libraries too, so that might cause name conflicts. Okay, this is going to be base case. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and add my recursive case. For my recursive case, I will be adding an if statement to check if my number is even first. So if my n modulus 2 equals to 0, I'm going to do something. I'll add a pair of curly braces, and then let's see. Let me go ahead and return 1 plus. Okay, I'll go with 1 plus invoke my sum even digits function. Or actually count even digits function. There we go. Add a pair of parentheses. This time I'm going to remove my last digit, so I'll go with n divided by 10. Okay, and then I'll end up with a semicolon. This is a check for just even numbers, although what if it's an odd number? Let me go ahead and add a else clause for my odds as well. So I'll go with else, a pair of curly braces. Inside of my else clause, let me go ahead and return something like my count even function. Excuse me guys, I invoke my count even function and go with n divided by 10. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Okay, guys, because it's kind of hot here, so I'm feeling to sneeze and my nose is kind of congested. Namespace is pretty standard for most places, but yes, it's good to learn the harder way. Honestly, that does make sense. Well, then in that case, we don't declare namespace before the main method. We only do it before our main so that it doesn't create a conflict. Honestly, I see that does make sense. Okay, lastly, this is pretty much it for my count even digits function. Now inside of my main function, let me go ahead and create a integer variable called number and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll insert something like enter a number and then end up with a semicolon. Next up, let's go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my number variable ending with a semicolon. Lastly, I'll display my number on the screen. So I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll invoke my count even digits function, add a pair of parentheses. My parameter is going to be my numbers variable. Lastly, I'll go with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. If I hit Ctrl S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. It says enter a number. I'll go with something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I hit enter, there are 3 even numbers. 2 is an even number, 4 is an even number, and 6 is an even number. Okay, perfect. I'll go with the Control C, copy that, get /ChatGPT here. Okay, right there. Okay, and then let me go ahead and paste this. Vivek, with this until now, why don't you try and build a simple snake game using C++? Honestly, because I haven't worked on the actual game logic. That said, I am going to be working over. Most likely, I'm going to be going through object-oriented programming next stream, so I might actually start working on games from next stream onwards. That said, yes, that's perfect, people. Look at this exactly how recursion should work for counting digits. Every piece is in the right place. Base case stops recursion at 0, checks each digit with modulus 2, adds 1 when the digit is even, recursively calls itself for the remaining digits. You just nailed it all on your own this time. I'm proud of you. Seriously, this is how mastery starts. If you want, we can step it up slightly. A next recursion problem that mixes counting odd and even digits together. It's a beginner friendly but makes you think a bit more. Do you want me to throw that? Let's say yes, let's say. Okay. Hello, how are you? Howdy, Ventura. I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, let's see. Good code. Okay, alright. Alright people, let's level this up slightly. Here's your next instructional based question. A problem, write a recursive function in C++ that takes an integer n and returns the difference between the sum of its even digits and the sum of its odd digits. Example, we go with input 1, 2, 3, 4. Sum of even digits is 2 plus 4, 6. Sum of odd digits is 1 plus 3, 4. I might need two functions for this. That said, rules must use recursion to okay guys, I think I might need two functions for this. Okay, so let me go with the Control A, delete everything, and start off by including something. I'm gonna include a pair of ankle braces. I wanna include IO stream. And then let me go ahead and create two functions. So the first function is gonna be something like, let's go with some even digits with a pair of parentheses. My sum even digits will have a parameter of n, okay, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. There we go. I will return 0 as a placeholder for now, and then I create another function which is going to be an integer as well. This is going to be called some odd digits. There we go, and then add a pair of parentheses with a parameter of n as well, and then add another pair of curly braces and return 0 ending with a semicolon. Okay, didn't eat dinner. I'm so sick that I'm not hungry at all. Honestly, get well soon, Mantua. Okay, let's see. So some even digits. So before I return 0, let's go ahead and add a base case. For my base case, I'll go with something like if a pair of parentheses, if my parameter of n is equal to 0, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Inside of my pair of curly braces, I'm going to return 0 ending with a semicolon. Okay, now let me go ahead and add my recursive case. For my recursive case, since I am summing even digits, let's go ahead and find out, let's go ahead and filter my even digits first. So I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. Let's see something like if my n modulus 2 equals to 0, I'm going to do something. I'll add a pair of curly braces. Okay, and then let me go ahead and let's see. I'll go with something like n modulus 2. This gets my last digit, okay? And I'm gonna add that plus invoke my count even numbers, or I'll go with something like sum even digits as function, add a pair of parentheses. I want to sum my even digits, so n divided by 10, ending with a semicolon. So basically what this means is every time I have an even number, I'm going to be removing that even number from the end, but before I remove that even number from the end, I'm going to get it right here. Okay, that is an even check. Let's go with an odds check. So I'll go with else a pair of curly braces. I'll invoke my sum even digits as function. I'll go with n divided by 10. Okay, I don't know, I was cycling about a week ago and it started raining like hell and I got sick from that. Oh, that's actually pretty sad. Also, thanks, I'll try to get better soon. Could visit my girlfriend soon. That actually sounds pretty cool. Please take care, time, and get well soon, Ventura. Your girlfriend is same here. Okay, I'll end this with a semicolon as well. That said, let me do the same exact thing for my odd digits as well, but I will just change modulus 10 to be not equal to modulus 10. Okay, so I'm going to be going with a base case, so I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. Let's say if my n modulus 2, actually if my n equals to 0, I'm going to go ahead and return 0 ending with a semicolon. And then for my recursive case, I'm going to do something. I'll check if my number is odd. So if n modulus 2 is not equal to 0, I'll go with a pair of curly braces and then do something. So let's go with something like n modulus 10. This gets me the last number from my input. I'm gonna add that, invoke my sum odd digits as function. There we go, sum odd digits, add a pair of parentheses. Okay, now inside of my sum odd digits, I'm going to be going with n divided by 10. So basically what n divided by 10 does is it removes the last digit from my input and n modulus 10 gets our last digit. So I get the last digit if it's odd and then I remove that last digit to recurse over the rest numbers, if that made any sense. I'll end this with a semicolon and then let's go ahead and add a else clause. So else a pair of curly braces. I'm going to invoke my sum of odd digits this function again and just go with n modulus 10. Basically what this means is if my number is not odd, I just skip over it. Okay, and then lastly, let's go ahead and create a main function now. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of curly braces. Inside of my main function, I could go ahead and create a variable called number, which is going to be an integer. and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator. That is going to be lowercase console output. Okay, I'm going to say something like enter a number. Okay, the user will enter a number, and then I'll add a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my number variables as value. Next up, let's display that number in the screen. So I'll go with something like a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll say something like sum of even numbers. This is going to be the sum of my even numbers. Okay, I'll go in a new line, add another insertion operator. I'm going to go ahead and invoke my sum even digits function with a pair of parentheses. The parameter is going to be my number variable. Okay, and then I'll go with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Let's do the same thing for my odd numbers as well. So I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'll say something like sum of odd numbers this time. Okay, and then I'll go in a new line, add an insertion operator. I want to invoke my sum odd digits function. The parameter is going to be my numbers as variable with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. Okay, perfect. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Honestly, I think I forgot to return. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and return. Okay, and the reason I am returning is because it is like a integer function and it's not like whatchamacallit, it's not a void function. In void functions, we don't have to return, but in integer functions, it is like important to return. There we go. Okay, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. It says enter a number. I'll enter a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if I hit enter, the sum of even numbers is 12, the sum of odd numbers is 9. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the Control A, Control C. And guys, I feel like I'm getting a pretty good grasp on how recursion works. I might try object-oriented programming this stream as well. Honestly, I think I'll try next stream. Okay, let me go ahead and paste this. Let's see. Alright people, I see what you did there. You've split the problem into two separate functions for even and odd digits. That works fine if you just want sums, but the question I gave you was asking for the difference between the sum of even digits and odd digits. Oh, I had to like subtract those two. Right now your code does not return the difference directly, it just prints both sums separately. That's okay at first attempt, but let's refine it so recursion handles the entire task in a single function. Guys, I feel like I read the instructions wrong. Is Vivek a North Indian? I can see those North Indian take their accents when they're live in other countries. Guys, honestly, I've never been to India, although I am pretty excited to someday visit India. That says, here's a tip before you rewrite. Base case is still n equals 0. The last digit is even. Added recursively. The last digit of odd subtracted from the recursive result. Huh. Okay, to get an odd digit. Could I like do something like this? Like sum of even digits function with a parameter of numbers minus sum of odd digits function. Sum of odd digits with a parameter of number as well. Would that honestly work? Okay, I think it does work. Maybe I add this inside of a standard console output. Let me go ahead and add an insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Excuse me guys. Okay, let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert this. Okay, let's go in a new line. Maybe even get this in a new line. There we go. I'll add an insertion operator here. This is going to say something like sum of even and odd numbers and odd number. Okay, this honestly does make sense. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Enter a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get 12, I get 9, and I get 3. What is 12 minus 9? So 9, 10, 11, 12. It is 3. Okay, perfect. Let's go to Control A, Control C. Copy that. Get synthase/ChatGPT here. Okay, and paste it. I honestly might go with... I forgot what were the different kinds of functions. I'm pretty sure I needed a palindrome as well. I had to like learn about palindromes. I did go through it a bit last stream. Alright people, this works, yes, but there's a thing. You're calling recursion twice for the same number. Once for even and once for odd. That means you're doing double work. unnecessary. It's fine for small numbers, but in real recursion mastery, we want to handle both sums in a single recursive pass. Here's how you think about it. Integer, diff, even, odd. If n, that's base case. Integer last digit divided by 10, so that's last digit. If last digit modulus 2 equals to 0, return last digit plus okay. Else return minus last digit. Okay. Let's see. If the last digit is even, add it. If it's odd, subtract it. Okay, I think I see. The recursive call continues with n divided by 10. Okay, honestly, let me say something like, so let's say I think I see ... Although, can I get another question? I think that I didn't read your instructions properly for the last question. Okay, let's see if I send this. Let's see what happens. Alright people, and guys, the Sensei slash ChatGPT's chat is actually lagging because I have been using this chat for the past 3 streams. I didn't have time to set a separate chat. That said, alright people, here's your next instructional recursion question at the same level question. Write a recursive function called count digit occurrence, integer n, integer digit, okay, that counts how many times a given digit appears in a number. For example, input n equals to 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, digit 2 equals to 2, okay, output twice. Hence, to think about it, base case when n becomes 0, stop recursion, check the last digit of n by n modulus 10 if it matches. Okay, make a recursive call with n divided by 10. Okay, let's get Sensei slash ChatGPT here. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and delete everything. And let's include a pair of ankle braces. So I'm going to start off by including IO stream. Next up, I'm going to drink some water. Honestly, I feel a little dehydrated. Okay, that's let me go ahead and create a function. So let's read the instructions. It says write a recursive function called count odd digit occurrences. Odd digits is occurrence. I'll need two parameters here. First is going to be an integer and second is an integer digit. Okay, let's try. So I'll go with something like integer count digit occurrence. Did I spell it correct? OCCURENCES. Okay, I think I spelled it correct. And then I'll go with the pair of curly braces. Where are you from, bro? Honestly, many of you guys did say me to avoid saying that, but they did say like if I say my country and show my state, that's fine. I am from the United States, but I try not saying that much. Okay, so this is going to be having a a parameter of n, and then I'll go with the pair of curly braces. I'm back, bro. Howdy, Satyam. Is that how I pronounce your name, guys? I appreciate you joining the stream. Although I do like I do need to work on my pronunciations. With that said, let's go ahead and add a base case. So I'll go with something like if my parameter of n equals to 0, I'm going to do something. Let's go ahead and return 0, and then I'll end up with a semicolon. Next up, let me go ahead and add a recursive case. Let's read the instructions for that. So for my recursive case, write a recursive function, call this with 2 parameters. I need a digit parameter as well. Honestly, I've never worked with, let me just zoom out a bit. There we go. Honestly, I've never worked with a recursive question that includes 2 digits. This is going to be a little tricky. There we go. Okay, that counts how many times a given digit appears in a number. Okay, so I'll count how many times 2 appears in a number. So I gotta first add a flag to check if it is 2. So I could create a variable for that. Or maybe I could just go with like an if statement. Let's go ahead and try that. So I'll go with something like if a pair of parentheses, if my n equals to, let's say, 2, I'm going to do something. Okay, integer digits. So I'll go with something like my digits is parameter plus equals to 1. Use while n is greater than 0. Honestly, I'm not using loops. I'm working with recursions. That said, if my n equals to 2, my digits is going to increase by 1. Okay, and then I'm gonna do something. Let's say something like, I could go ahead and invoke my function of count digit occurrence. Then I'll go with something like n divided by 10. That removes the last digit from my number. Okay, excuse me guys. Okay, let me go ahead and return this. Honestly, in that case, should it be something like, what if I end this with a semicolon? That does say an integer. Okay, let's think about this. So I need to check how many times 2 occurs inside of my whatchamacallit function, and I feel the name is so big. I might just shrink the name a little. There we go, count digits. There we go, count digit function. Okay, so my digit increases by 1 every time it is equal to 2. It will work with recursion. Use recursive function inside it. Honestly, I was said not to use any kind of loops though. Okay, honestly, but I could try that. So it says return count digits. I have a function here. So let's read the instructions again. If the input is 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, it gives 2 count occurrence. How many times a given digit appears in a number? Okay, so if 2 equals to 0, digit plus equals to 1. Or I could go with something like digit plus plus. That works as well. I incremented by 1. And then I go ahead and return something. I just gotta go with... I'm pretty sure this is like correct. Why does it show like a red underline there? N divided by 10. I want to remove the last digit. Okay, maybe I remove this whole thing. Okay, this actually doesn't make any sense. Let's see. So that increases by 1. Maybe I gotta create like a boolean as well for a flag. That wouldn't make sense. Digit plus plus. Okay, honestly, let's just go ahead and return my digits. There we go. I'm gonna end that with a semicolon. I think this is gonna work. I think this is correct. Okay, else. Okay, let's go with else if of curly braces. I'm gonna invoke my count digits function. What's my function called? Okay, it's called count digit. Let me go ahead and paste this here. I actually just know Java, not much Python. Sorry. Honestly, I am working with C++ right now. Okay, that said, I'm gonna go with my count digits n divided by 2. Let me go ahead and return this. There we go, return that, ending with a semicolon. Okay, does this work? It doesn't honestly work, because there I go with my digits plus plus. If my n is not equal to 2, I just wanna do this. Check for n modulus 10, not n itself. Check for n modulus 10. Okay, that does make sense. So, oh, okay. If n modulus 10, oh, that actually makes sense. If my n modulus 10 is equal to 2, which are the same pair of parentheses, there we go. If that is equal to 2, my digits increment by 1. Else, if it's not equal to 2, I do this. Although, why does it show like a red underline here? Could I go with without my return? Okay, it would do the same thing. Oh, my bad, I don't even know it in C++. Oh, I see. Okay, then n modulus... Okay, so if n modulus 10 is 2, my digits increase by 1. Let's try going without my else clause. Okay, there we go. Maybe another control C. There, let's go ahead and delete this part. Okay, let me go ahead and create my main function. I'm pretty sure this should work. So I'll go with integer main. I have a pair of parentheses, then a pair of curly braces inside of my main function. Let's go ahead and create a variable of integer, which is going to be number, ending with a semicolon. Remove integer digit from function definition. I could keep this to be a void as well. I could actually try void. Let me try void. Howdy, Coco. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let's just go ahead and return here. Then I do that. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this return as well. We don't need returns when it's a void function. Count digit requires 2 inputs. Yeah, honestly, I was going to create the second input of digits, which is going to be, let's just keep it digit. That is going to be equal to 0. Okay, what are you doing? Honestly, I'm working on whatchamacallit. Let's see. I'm actually learning to master recursion. There we go. Trying to phrase that. Okay, that said, I feel like I almost got a pretty good grasp on recursion. I'm just like trying to learn some more basics. Next stream, I will actually move on to object-oriented programming. Okay, so if n modulus 2 equals to 0, I go with digits. Okay. And then I gotta remove the last digit as well after I get it. Okay, let's go with an else. Else a pair of curly braces. I'll go ahead and invoke my count digits function. I'm going to be going with something like n divided by 10, ending with a semicolon. Okay, that's why the red line is showing, I think. Honestly, I don't think that's the reason. No, not that. The integer digits part. Integer digits part, this. Huh, digits should be a pointer or else the value is lost. Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, honestly, that does make sense. I did work with pointers. Let me actually try that. Let's go with like a bunch of control Z's. Okay. Okay, I did learn about pointers, so I think I'm pretty ready for adding pointers. Okay, so integer digits. Should I like create a variable? Maybe I try this first to check if something is messed up, because I think I know what to do right now. Because I did learn about pointers. Okay, so I'll go with digit equals to 0. And then let's go ahead and add a standard console output. Howdy, Kooky, I appreciate you joining the stream. Is that how you pronounce your name? I think it's Kookly. Guys, I'm kind of bad with pronunciations. That said, I'll go with an insertion operator that says enter a number. I'm going to end that with a semicolon. And then let's go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my number variable. Next up, let's display it on the screen. So I'll go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to go ahead and invoke my count function, count digits as function, with two parameters. The first is going to be my numbers as parameter. The second is going to be my digit parameter. And then I'm going to add another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. Let's see what does this return. This returns my digits. Okay, if I were to go with Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Error expected before. Did I miss like a semicolon? Oh, there we go. Okay, which country are you from? Honestly, I am from the United States, but I don't like say that much because like some of you guys did say me to avoid saying that. That said, I keep saying it again and again. Okay, I'll go with something like 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. If I were to hit enter, it says 0. Okay, I need to add a pointer right now. It should be integer count digits and a pair of parentheses. No need for the second parameter. Okay, so let's remove the second parameter. Instead, I'll create a pointer. To create a pointer, I could go with something like... Okay, let's go with something like integer of, let's say, a dereferencing operator of pointer or PDR that is going to be equal to n. Okay, I'll end that with a semicolon. I'll remove these, remove that. Okay, I can't go with n. I should most likely go with the dereferencing, actually the address of operator of n. There we go. So that is a pointer now. And then you could use namespace for these basic programs. Honestly, the reason I don't use it is like for my actual practice, because like it is considered a bad practice to do it. Okay, so that's my pointer now for my n. Now inside of my if statement, I check if my pointer, okay, so if my PDR, okay, I'll go with a dereferencing operator. So if my pointer modulus 10 equals to 0, I'm going to increment my digits by 1. So I would still need a digits as parameters. So I'll go with digits. There we go. And my digits as parameter is going to be an integer. Return 1 plus count digit n divided by 10. Honestly, that does make sense. Hold up, let's actually see. Okay, I'm going to increment my digits by 1. So let's go ahead and return digits plus plus. There we go. I'll end that with a semicolon and then go with an else clause. Let's go with else a pair of curly braces. I'm going to return something like invoke my count digits as function. add a pair of parentheses. I'll go with something like, let's say, my pointer. Honestly, not my pointer. Let's go with n divided by 10. Does that work? Okay, it doesn't work, so I could try my pointer as well. So I'll go with PDR. Okay, that doesn't. Why can't I return anything in my else clause? Am I doing something wrong there? Maybe not. Okay, what happens if I control S to save the code and run the command right now? Okay, let's go with something like, it says warning control reaches end of non-void function. It's a non-void function. I need to do something if it is not equal to 10. Does the +1 do something? Okay, what if I go with something like else, a pair of curly braces, return 1 plus count digits as function and divided by 10. Okay, let's see. Honestly, this doesn't seem like working either. What happens if I go with a semicolon? Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, let's go with a pair of curly. Actually, let's just delete my else clause here, or like add my previous else clause. There we go. Okay, instead of going with pointer, I'll go with n. Okay, now let me go with a control C, copy that, get sensei slash chat GPT here. Okay, and then maybe get it bigger. Okay, let me go ahead and paste that, go with shift enter and say sensei, I feel like I messed up ... Maybe even hydrate my lips, it's kind of dehydrated. Okay, oh no people, you've definitely overcomplicated things and missed the logic entirely. Listen carefully because this is important. You don't need a pointer at all. Integer pointer is completely unnecessary here. You're just trying to check the last digit of n you hard-coded to instead of checking the digit parameter that defeats the purpose of counting any digits. You're misusing digits plus. You're not actually adding 1 to the count. Recursively, remember, recursion. Oh. Hold up, guys. Before I actually read the whole thing, I think I actually understand. Okay, firstly, let's go ahead and remove my pointer. And then let me go ahead and check something. If n modulus 10, okay, equals to 2, instead of incrementing it by 1, apparently in recursion, incrementation doesn't work. So I'm going to do something. I'll go with something like return n, let's see, return n divided by 10. Okay, that's the last digit. N divided by 10. Actually, I'll go with something like n plus 1 for every 2 in my number. So n plus 1 plus digits 2. Okay, let's go with something like digits plus 1. My digits is parameter plus 1. Let's go with something like plus, add a pair of, actually instead of a pair of parentheses, I'll go ahead and invoke my count digits as function. Add a pair of parentheses. Here I'll go with n divided by 10. Okay, so I went with digits plus 1 here. Instead of going with digits plus 1, I don't want to get the last digit. Okay, honestly, this doesn't work either. Let's read the, explanation. I thought I figured it out, never mind. Okay, you're misusing digits. You're not actually adding 1 to the count recursively. Remember, recursion should return the console output from the count from the smaller problem plus 1 if the digit matches. Your recursive call return count digits and divided by 10 is missing the digit argument, so it won't even compile properly. Oh, yeah, that's... okay, that actually makes sense. I might be doing this stuff correct, but... okay, that does make sense because I need 2 parameters here, of course. Okay, although I'll read the whole thing. Okay, correct approach. Base case 10 return 0. Check if n modulus 10 equals to the digit we're counting. If yes, 1 plus count digits. I forgot to add the second parameter. No wonder it didn't work. Okay, do not use pointers. Do not hard code. Do not try track with a separate variable like digits plus. Recursion itself handles accumulation. Okay, now let's get some say here, guys. I think I understand. So what I was actually messing up with, I check if my n modulus 10 equals to 0. If it is, I go with Let's see. I go with something like my n plus 1. Was it n plus 1? Okay, so honestly, I'll go with 1 plus count digits. The second parameter is going to be my digits. Okay, I think I was in the right track. I just didn't, whatchamacallit, add another parameter here because I've always been working with like one parameter, so I thought that I just need one. Never mind, if I invoke a function, we'll need all the necessary parameters unless it's not a keyword. Okay, else I'll go with count digit divided by 10 with my digits as parameter here. Okay, perfect. I think this should work. If I would hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Enter a number, I'll go with 122334445. Why are you making it tough? Use the simple way. The simple way. Okay, perfect. There are two twos. Honestly, is there like a simpler way to do this? Okay, let's get Sensei slash ChatGPT here. Okay, let's go ahead and paste this. Okay, perfect. Honestly, I feel like my code before was actually correct. I just missed my second parameter there. Okay, people, you're close, but you're still making a rookie mistake. Guys, something is still wrong. Look carefully, you hard-coded 2 again. If n modulus 10 equals to 2, the purpose of passing digits as a parameter is so you can count any digit. Oh, I thought I had to count like a single digit if it's repeated. Your digit parameter is never used. Okay, if n modulus 2 equals to digit, my digit is going to be 0. Oh, does the user enter the digit? Oh, I see. Don't use n modulus 2 equals to 2. Guys, let me actually restart my OBS real quick. Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, actually, I think I should ask the user for my digit as well to like find like to whatchamacallit, search a digit. I think I read the instructions wrong. Okay, let's change this to digit. Okay, there we go, digits. Okay, and then inside of my main function, I'll add another static console output. So I'll go with static console output with an insertion operator. This is going to say something like enter a number. Excuse me, guys. Is there a floor division in C++? Honestly, I've never. I actually didn't hear about it. Like, I didn't like use floor division in C++ because in Python. Okay, honestly, I don't think there's a floor division in C++ because in Python, a floor division is like two division signs here. But in C++, a floor division is basically a comment. So I could write here something like recursion. Okay, if you guys can like see this part, I should actually ask that though. Okay, please give him some time. He's 17 and he's learning. He's in his learning stage, not in a mature understanding stage. Honestly, that does make sense. That said, let's go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my digits as variables. Okay, enter a digit that you're looking for. There we go. This is going to be my digit parameter. Okay, ending with a semicolon. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, okay, this should work. So it says enter a number. I'll go with something like 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay, enter a digit that you're looking for. Why was that digit 0 by default? Okay, let's see. Digits. I returned 0. Did I go with the Control S to save the code? Let me run the command again. I'll go with something like 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. Enter a digit that you're looking for. I'm looking for, let's say, 4. There's 1 4. Okay, perfect. C++ is floor division by default. Oh, is it? That actually makes sense, honestly. Okay, let me go ahead and copy that. Get Sensei slash ChatGPT here. Okay, let me go ahead and paste this. Anyone in the chat, let's play some game, tic-tac-toe XO game. Guys, honestly, I should like add some kind of fun games for chat. That said, yes, people, finally, this is perfect. Look at what you just did. Look at what you did right this time. You correctly use the digits as parameter instead of hard coding too. This makes your function more flexible. So my first move, X to the top left corner. Guys, I've honestly never played tic-tac-toe, although I did play XO. Okay, you kept the recursion intact and divided by 10. And then X moves each digit. Your base case is correct. If n equals to 0, we return 0. So now, if your input is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, and you want 2, this will correctly return 3. Okay, tip, always visualize recursion as peeling off one digit at a time and checking it. This This makes the digit count problems much easier to debug. People, this is exactly the level I wanted you to master today. Do you want another recursion question at the same difficulty, or do you want to step it up slightly? Honestly, Sensei, can we step it up slightly? Question mark. I might actually want to go with a little harder questions. Huh. Okay, someone please put O. Okay, I guess let's put O, guys. Okay, that said, yes people, it's time to sketch that brain a little. Here's a slightly harder recursion question for you, instructional based question. Write a recursive function that checks if a number is a palindrome. If a number is a palindrome, if it reads the same backwards and forwards, example 121 or 1331, you cannot convert that number to a string. You have to do it only using numbers and recursion. Hint, think about extracting digits and comparing the first digit and the last digit of the number. If you want to try this on your own, step by step, focus on breaking down the numbers recursively and figuring out how to compare the first and last digits. Guys, let me drink some coffee. I'm kind of thirsty. Guys, it's actually kind of bitter. I mean, I do like bitter coffees. That's really strong. Okay, that said, I want you to try this on your own step by step. Focus on breaking down the numbers recursively and figuring out how to compare the first and last digits. Do you want a small hint for how to handle the first and last digit? Honestly, no, I do want to try it first. Okay, so let me go with the Control A, delete everything. Let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. Next up, let's go ahead and do something. Let's see. I want to go ahead and create a function, so I'll go with an integer function of a palindrome. Is that pronounced? Is it pronounced as palindrome? Oh, it's pronounced as plain Palindrome. So Palindrome. There we go. That sounds pretty good. My palindrome function will have a parameter of integer, and then I'll add a pair of curly braces. So I've already lost. GG's. Good game, guys. How do you play in chat? Okay, let's see. So write a recursive function that checks a number is a palindrome. So I have a function here. Let's go with a base case. So if a pair of parentheses, let's say if my n equals to 0, I want to do something. I'm going to go ahead and return 0. Let's go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. Don't you declare a function with void? Honestly, we do declare a function with void if the function doesn't have to return anything. Since I am going with a palindrome here, I'm pretty sure I do need to return something. That said, if a function doesn't require to return anything, that's like a void function. That said, let's read the next instruction. A number is a palindrome if it reads the same forwards and backwards. You cannot convert the number to a string. You have to read only using numbers. Okay, think about extracting digits and comparing the first and last digit. Okay, let's see. Maybe I drink some more coffee. Guys, this coffee, I feel it's kind of awful. It tastes kind of bitter. Okay, that said, let's see. I could go with something like an if statement. So I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. I gotta check the first digit and the last digit. So if n modulus 10, that gives me the last digit, is equal to, let's say, n. Okay, I'm gonna do something. Let's go ahead and return something. So I'll go ahead. Honestly, I think this should be like a void function. Let's add this to be a void function because I don't think I'll need to return anything. Let me change this return 0 to just return. Okay, so I'll add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says this is a palindrome. How do you spell palindrome? There we go. So it's a palindrome. Palindrome. There we go. Okay, that's correct. Palindrome. Okay, perfect. And then I'll end that with a semicolon. That said, that's pretty much it for the function. Let's go with an else clause. Else a pair of curly braces. I'll go with another standard console output with an insertion operator. This is going to say something like this is not a palindrome. There we go. Ending with a semicolon. Okay, is LA equals to show permission plus dot files. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of curly braces. Inside of my main function, I'm going to be creating a variable called number, which is going to be an integer. And then I'll go with a static console output with an insertion operator. This is going to say something like enter a number. Okay, and I'll end that with a semicolon. That said, let's go with a static console input with an extraction operator. This is going to be my number variable ending with a semicolon as well. Lastly, let's go ahead and display if my number is a palindrome or is not a palindrome. So I'll go with a static console output with an insertion operator, and then let's go ahead and invoke my palindrome function, add a pair of parentheses. My parameter is going to be my numbers as variable with another insertion operator of a / new line ending with a semicolon. Okay, honestly, I just invoked my palindrome function, not a standard console output. And remove that as well because my palindrome function does have a console output in it. Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. If I hit Ctrl S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. If you don't know about df-h, then please change your channel name from Linux to stuff. Okay, hey Linux stuff, can you tell me what's GNU/Linux? Honestly, I was planning to get Linux as an operating system for my PC, but I will actually look into it, like if OBS is compatible with Linux, if my apps are compatible with Linux. That's it, let's go with something like 1221. This is not a palindrome, it is a palindrome though. Let's see, so if n modulus 10 equals to n, that's the last digit, that's the first digit, this is a palindrome. Okay, did I mess something up? I feel like it's correct. Is equal to my last digit. Okay, honestly, let's go with something like a control C, copy that, get /GPT here. Okay, let's see, because I feel like I honestly didn't mess up anywhere. Let's go ahead and paste this, go with shift enter and say, so let's say, I feel like I messed up, but it does look correct, question mark. Okay, let's see. Okay, people, no, this is not even close to working. Let's break it down. If n modulus 10 equals to n, this is only true for a single digit number that does not check the first and last digit of the whole number. You're basically saying if the number is less than 10, it is a palindrome. That said, you're not using recursion at all. Okay, wait. Hold up, guys. Let me get something /GPT here. About the recursion part. Honestly, let's go ahead and invoke my palindrome function. Okay, palindrome function, add a pair of parentheses. I'll go with something like n-1. I don't think this would make like a huge difference though. Ending with a semicolon. Okay, let's go with Control S, run the command again. Let's try something 1221. Okay, it says this is not a palindrome. Let's read some instructions in that case. Okay, maybe extend that. Okay, right now palindrome just runs once and prints something. There's no call to itself to break down the number. 3. You need to compare the first and last digits, then recurse on the number with the first and last removed. Only when you can decide if they're truly palindrome. Hint, no full code yet. Last digit, modulus 10. First digit, you'll need a helper to figure out how many digits there are. Then do n divided by the pow function. Okay, honestly, I didn't know that we had a pow function in C++. Remove the first and last digit and divided by Okay, let's say something like, do you want me to guide you with a helper function first so it's easier? Let's say something like, let's say, I honestly didn't know that we had a pow function in C++, ... That said, how do we access it? I did hear of a library called C Math or something like that. Did I need that question mark? Okay, let's see, guys. I should fix my typos. That said, mm, okay, exactly, people. You need the CMAT library for the POW function. Here's how it works. So we include a pair of ankle braces, CMAT for POW. Then you can do stuff like this: integer result, the power of 10 to the power 3, that is 1000. Okay, important in C++, POW actually returns a double. So you want an integer result to cast it. Okay, so integer result, static cast integer POW. Okay, you'll need this if you want to tackle the first digit or remove the last digit in a number. For the palindrome check, if you want, I can show you a simple helper function to get the numbers of digits. That's the next step for your palindrome recursion. Do you want me to do that? Honestly, let me say, yes, let's say, honestly, kind of lost, dot, dot, dot. Can you help me figure this out, question mark? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Alright, people, listen up. Don't panic. I've got you. Okay, let's see. We're going to break this palindrome recursion problem into tiny chewable pieces. You're not lost. You're just not seeing the map yet. Here's the idea. Step one. What's a palindrome number? A palindrome number is a palindrome if it reads the same backwards and forwards. 1 to 1 palindrome. 1 2 3 not palindrome. Step 2, how to check recursively. We want to check first digit versus last digit, then remove them and check the smaller number. How do we get the first digit and last digit? Last digit n modulus 10, first digit n modulus n divided by the power of n. So 10 to the power of my number underscore last digit. Okay, I'm assuming that's a keyword. Okay, this is why we need CMath and the POW function. Step 3, recursive logic. Base case, if the number has 0 or 1 digit, it's automatically a palindrome. Compare the first and last digit. If it equals, remove them and recurse on the middle part. Okay, it's not equal, not a palindrome. Step 4, helper function. We need a helper to count the number of digits, so we include IOStream. We include CMath for our POW function. Then we go with something like, we create a function called integer count digits with a parameter of n, which is an integer. Okay, we are a base case. If our n is equal to 0, we return 0. Else we return 1 plus count digits n divided by 10. Once you understand this, we can write the full recursive palindrome function. People, this is where a lot of beginners freeze up. I'm going to make you write it step by step, but first tell me, do you want to explain how to remove the first and last digits recursively before you try coding? Okay, let me say something like, let's say, I still feel kind of lost. I do understand the concept of a palindrome, although I haven't tried it yet, so I probably can't process what to do, dot dot dot. Oh, I didn't want to write these in caps. Let me add a pair of parentheses. Inside the pair of parentheses, I'll say something like, I didn't want to use caps. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and say something else. Is there a way to do it without the CMath module, CMath library as well, question mark? Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh yes, people, I hear you loud and clear. Don't worry about CMath if it's confusing you right now. There's a way to do it without POW function at all. You just have to think about digits differently. Here's a trick. Idea without the CMath library, instead of calculating the first digit using n divided by the power of 10 to the power digits minus 1, we can reverse the number recursively and compare it with the original. Let's say your number is 12312. Honestly, I often find it easier to write self-calling functions rather than loops, but yeah, it's quite tricky concept for beginners. Honestly, I remember when I first started learning recursion in C++, it was honestly pretty complicating. That said, I feel like the more practice we get, the easier it becomes. I'm trying to see how it works though. That said, you build its reverse digit. That's it. You can build its reverse digit by digit using recursion, then check if original equals to reverse. That's how, okay, how that works step by step. Base case, if the number is 0, return 0. Okay, reverse number is ready. Recursive step, take the last digit and modulus 10 and add it to a reverse number being built. Compare reverse number with the original number in the main function. This way you'll never touch both POW and CMAT, just plain integers. Hey, here's my question. Do you want me to walk you through building the reverse structure? Honestly, I feel like that's kind of complicating. Let's go with something like, since say I feel that's kind of complicating, although I do want you to write that. Can you maybe show me a reference code so I can see how things work, question mark? I didn't want to use caps again, guys. That's let's see. Okay, oh people, finally, you want to dive deep? Alright, I'll give you a reference code that reverses a number using recursion without CMAT and then checks if it's a palindrome. Study it carefully. So we first include IO stream, okay, and then a recursive function to reverse an integer. So we create a function called reverse number that has two parameters. The first parameter is going to be n. The second is going to be reverse, which is set to 0 by default. So it is like a keyword argument. And then we add a base case. If n equals to 0, reverse base case, return the reversed number. Okay, and then we return reversed number, which is n modulus, actually n divided by 10, that removes the last digit from our number. Okay, for the second parameter, I go with my reverse parameter multiplied by 10 plus n divided by 10, recursive step. Inside our main function, we create an integer variable. Then we go ahead and add a standard console output and a console input. And then we go integer reversed. Okay, we create another reversed variable. Excuse me guys, we set that equal to our reversed number. Okay, and then if our number equals to, oh. Okay, wait, hold up, I think I see. Okay. Integer number, if our number equals to the reverse, this is a palindrome. Okay, so if our forward number equals to our number spelled backwards. Okay, I think I understand. Hold up guys, I think I'm actually understanding how this works. Okay, I do that, else I do this and return 0. How this works, ref keeps the reverse numbers being built and modulus 10 extracts the last digit of n, multiply ref by 10 and add the last digit, shift the digit left, recursion with n divided by 10 until n becomes 0, compare reversed with the original number. Here's your challenge, try to write this on your own without copying. I want you to understand how reversal works by digits. Okay, chat, let's play a guess game. I'll type H if your number is higher and I if it's lower. Okay, my number is going to be 75. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and delete everything. Let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. Okay, next up, if I saw it correct, because honestly the only thing I might need help with is like my recursive function. So firstly I create a function called reverse number. So this function is just to reverse a number using recursion. Honestly, if my number equals to 0, I've returned my reversed parameter, which is 0. Base case, return the reversed number. Okay, first I actually might copy the code by looking at the reference. So I'll go with something like integer. Okay, I will type H if your number is high. Okay, what if I go with 25? Okay, so I'll create a function called reverse number. Add a pair of parentheses. This is going to be having a parameter of n, which is a number. The second one is going to be reverse, which is going to be equal to, let's say, 0 by default. So this is a keyword argument. And then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Maybe zoom out a bit. Okay, now inside of my reversed function, I'm going to do something. Let's add a base case. So I'll go with a if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, it's too low. Okay, I think it's 53. I'm pretty sure it's 53. Okay, that said, if a pair of parentheses, so if my n equals to 0, I'll do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces and set my reverse to be equal to, let's say, actually, let's go ahead and return my reverse. Okay, I have a question about this part as well. Let's go with something like, question. Okay, question, why did we, okay, let's see, why did we not go with 0? Okay, I'll ask this question once I actually submit this question, if that made any sense. There we go, maybe I go a little back. Okay, 53 is low. Okay, in that case, what if I go with 60? That would make sense. Okay, let's see, I return 0, that is my base case. Next up, let's go ahead and add a recursive case. I'm gonna return something. So firstly, I gotta get the last number. So let's go with something like n modulus 10. This gives me the last number of my function or of my parameter. Okay, so honestly, I gotta invoke my function as well. Okay, I forgot to invoke. Okay, let's go ahead and invoke my reverse numbers as function. 60 is low. What if I go with 70? Is 70 going to be high enough? Okay, integer numbers. So my number is going to be n modulus 10. This is going to be the last number, comma. Now for my reverse part, for my reverse parameter. My reverse parameter is going to be reversed multiplied by 10. Okay, if it is reversed multiplied by 10, doesn't that make it 0 since my reversed is set to 0? Okay, let's try it though. So I'll go with reverse asterisk 10. Okay. And then I add that by n modulus 10. Okay, let's add it by n modulus 10. Because I am like copying this part because I don't understand what this means. So I'm actually trying to figure out if I understand while writing the code. That said, I gotta create a main function now. Apparently this gives me the reverse format of my number. So is it like a formula? 70 is correct, you win, let's go! Guys, I feel real proud that I won. How many tries did that take? It took like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tries. Okay, I think that's pretty bad. Okay, let's go ahead and create a main function. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of curly braces. Okay, inside of my main function, I'm going to be creating a variable called numbers. So I'll go with something like integer of number, ending with a semicolon. And then let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. I want to insert something like enter a number. Okay, ending with a semicolon. Next up, let's go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my numbers as variable value. Okay, and then I gotta create a reversed variable inside of my main function and set that equal to my, okay, I should set that equal to my reverse numbers as function. So let's go with something like integer reversed, okay, equals to, I'm going to invoke my reversed function. Okay, reverse numbers as function with a parameter of my number variable. Okay, the second parameter, I'll just need one parameter because my second parameter is set to 0 by default. That is like a keyword. When do you normally make your streams? Honestly, I usually do stream, like I have been streaming for like almost 2 hours. So on the weekends, I do stream like relatively sooner, like about my 12 p.m. to like 1 p.m. the US time. That's it on the weekdays since I do have college. I like come from college and then I stream, which would be about like 2 hours from now or something. Because right now my time is like 3:30 and like I do stream like at about 2:30 when I come from college. Okay, that said, I'm back, guys. Any messages to me here? Howdy, sire. Appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, I'll go ahead and end that with a semicolon. Next up, I add an if statement to check if my numbers as parameter equals to my reverse variable. Okay, so let's go with an if statement. So if a pair of parentheses, let's check if my number is equal to my reverse parameter. Then I'm going to do something. I'll go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like it is a palindrome. There we go, exclamation, ending with a semicolon. That said, let's go with an else clause as well. I'll go with else, a pair of curly braces. I'm gonna add another standard console output that says something like it is it is not a palindrome. Okay, ending with a semicolon as well. Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and return 0. So I'm going to go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. Okay, that's pretty much it. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see if it works. Although I didn't copy this code from the reference just to see if it works. I'll go with something like 1221. Okay. Okay, it does not say anything, honestly. Okay, let's actually go with a Control C, copy that, get sensei slash ChatGPT here. Okay, let's go ahead and paste this, go with Shift Enter and say something like, let's say, I did copy your code for reference, although did I copy it wrong question mark? I feel like I messed up ... Okay, let's see. Huh. Okay, oh yes people, you messed up a bit. Look carefully at this line in your recursive call. N modulus 10 reverse multiplied by 10. Okay, first argument of the recursive call should shrink and not be n modulus 10. Okay, if you pass n modulus 10, the number never reduces properly and the recursion won't reach the base case the correct way and divided by 10. Guys, I could have sworn since I actually wrote and okay, I copied it wrong, guys. I should pay more attention and copying. Okay, in that case, since I removed the last number, this makes more sense now. Okay, let's try it. If I go with Control S to save the code and run the command, 1221. Okay, it does say it's a palindrome. Now it's time to ask a few questions. Okay, let's go with the Control C, copy that. I did have a few questions related to this code. That said, if I were to paste the code, go with Shift Enter and say something like, let's say 3:30. Honestly, it's 3:30 p.m. That said, I'll say something like, I see ... Although, let me try actually not writing everything in caps. Okay, let me say something like, although I did have a few questions. Okay, so my first question is that why do we return rev in our base case question mark? Since our rev is 0, can't we just return 0 question mark? Okay, I think I answered my own question while asking it. Once my once my base case is met, my the reverse parameter is gonna basically be the reverse of my actual of my actual input that I entered, so that would make sense. Okay, let me ask another question. The second question is that since my reversed is 0 when I multiply it by 10, shouldn't that give me 0 as well question mark? Okay, let's see, did I have any other questions? Okay, I think these were the only questions. Okay, howdy, Ashish. I appreciate you joining the stream. Do you want to join me learning C# for Unity game dev? Honestly, eventually, I actually do want to go over C# as well. Bro, how can you do this? Do you remember these? Because you're pro in this, guys. I'm actually not a pro. I'm a beginner at most. That said, I eventually am planning to master a topic, then make tutorial videos because I do like teaching you guys. But for teaching you guys, I need to know it myself. That said, oh people, I love that you ask questions, but pay attention. Why return rev in the base case is not 0? Think about what rev is doing. It stores the reverse number as the recursion climbs back up. If you return 0, every recursion call would just hand back 0. You'd never get the accumulated reverse number. Reverse carries the first forward. That's why the base case you want to return you've built so far. Okay, wait, I think I read something wrong. If you return 0, every recursive call would just hand back to 0. Okay, that does make sense. I didn't answer that while asking the question. Next up, the reverse parameter carries the result forwards. Okay, that's why at the base case you return what you've built so far, not reset it to 0. Okay, why reverse multiplied by 10 doesn't say 0? Yes, reverse starts at 0, so 0 multiplied by 10 plus 10 modulus. plus 10 modulus, actually plus n modulus 10 is the first digit you add. That's n divided by, actually that's 10 modulus 10. That's n modulus 10, guys. I can't talk. On the next recursive call, reverse is now the first digit, so multiplying it by 10 shifts it left. Okay, like moving digits in decimal, and then you add the next digit step by step. Reverse grows from 0. Oh, wait, hold up, guys. Let me drink some coffee. Maybe I gotta jog my memory up real quick. Okay, let's see. Okay, why reverse multiplied by 10 doesn't stay 0? Yes, reverse starts at 0, so 0 multiplied by 10 plus n modulus 10 is the first digit you add. Okay, that's n modulus 10. On the next recursive call, oh, now the first digit, okay, on the next recursive call, our reversed parameter is now the first digit. So multiplying by 10 shifts it left, like moving digits in decimal, okay. And then you add the next digits step by step. The reverse parameter grows from 0 to the last digit, last two digits reversed until the number is fully reversed. If you want, I can draw a little number flow diagram showing how exactly reverse changes each recursive step. Okay, let me say, yes, let's say. Honestly, a diagram would be like real helpful, guys. Because I feel I'm like this close to understanding this part, guys. Okay, let's see. I hope it's not like an actual image. Okay, art people, pay attention. Okay, let's say you entered 1, 2, 3. Here's how reverse changes at each recursive call in our reverse numbers is function. Call stack descending phase. So reverse number is 1, 2, 3, and our parameter is 0. Our actual number is 1, 2, 3. Our reverse parameter is 0. Calls the reverse function. So it's 12. Okay. 0 multiplied by 10, that gives us 0, plus 1, 2, 3 divided by 10, actually modulus 10, which equals to 3. So that got me the last digit. Now these are the digits remaining inside of my whatchamacallit, it's from my number. Next up, I have 1 left because I go with 3. Oh wait, hold up, I think I see 3 multiplied by 10 plus whatchamacallit, 12 modulus 10, that gives me 2. The answer is 30 plus 2. Huh. Okay. And then I go with 0 because there is no other numbers left. 32 multiplied by 10. 1 modulus 320 plus 1. Okay, now it's 321. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm back, hiding Linux. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, I think I see. Return phase, climbing back up the call stack. Each previous call now just returns the value it got from the deeper calls. So the final result is 321, which is the reverse number. See that? Okay, reverse grows at each step. It's not always 0. That's why we can't just return 0 in the base case. Returning it would destroy everything we've built, and we'll just get a useless result. If you want, I can show you a step-by-step ASCII style number flowing. Okay, I think I understood. Let me say something like, let's say, I think that I understood. So let's go with something like understood ... Can I get another question that is exactly like this? I just need more practice. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Hey Linux stuff, which distro are you using? Okay, alright people, listen up. We're sticking to your comfort zone with recursion plus numbers, guys. This is not my comfort zone. Just like the last palindrome problem, this one will be similar, but now you're counting digits divisible by 3 in a number. Here's your instructional based question. Write a recursive function, count divisible by 3, Honestly, before I go with something like divisible by 3, I want to try a question which is exactly like this. So I remove the last digit from my number first. Reverse multiplied by 10. This gets me Oh, I see. Okay, okay. And then I remove that. I do this again. Okay, guys, I think I see. Okay, very good information. Okay, let's go with the control I delete everything. Let's start off by including a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. And guys, before I do Sensei's question, I do want to try this same exact question and see if I understood. That said, I include IO stream. Next up, let's go ahead and create a integer function called Palindrome. Very good content, dude. Keep going. I appreciate you, Sans. That's it. Let me restart my OBS. I see the lag coming back. Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, this should fix the lag. That said, I'll go with something like integer, a pair of parentheses. Actually, I'll create a function called palindrome. So let's go with palindrome, add a pair of parentheses. My palindrome function will have two parameters. The first is going to be an integer of n parameter. The second is going to be, let's say, a reverse parameter, which is going to be set to 0 by default. That said, I'll go with a pair of curly braces. That is going to be integer. Okay, you're learning really well, but why are you talking to ChatGPT like that? Guys, me and ChatGPT, me and ChatGPT, let's say, have a deep relationship of master and pupil. Okay, stream lag. Honestly, I could like assume what you said because I can't like read Hindi properly. That said, my stream is lagging because my mini PC CPU can actually handle this. That said, I am actually getting an actual PC. It is going to be arriving soon. That said, I will record myself building that PC, and once I get the PC, I will start multi-streaming on different platforms, and that would stop my lag issues as well. That said, I went ahead and I created a palindrome function. Let's add a if statement for my base case now. So if my n is equal to 0, I'll do something. Let's go ahead and return my reversed function ending with a semicolon. Okay, now let's work on the recursive calls. So I'll go ahead and return something. Let's return. Okay, let's see. I'll go ahead and invoke my palindrome function. Okay, and then add a pair of parentheses. Now, inside of my pair of parentheses, firstly, I'm going to remove. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to remove the last number. Why are you getting help from ChatGPT or generating code from him? Honestly, just to understand how codes work, because like it will be almost impossible for me to try figuring out something that I actually never learned. So if there's like a new information, I do like ask for sometimes a reference code to like see, analyze, and study the code. Later, I do go over a bunch of questions on my own as well. That said, guys, this might actually be the last question that I do because I am kind of starving and I do gotta complete some college assignments. So let's go ahead and complete this code. So I'm gonna return something like n divided by 10. This basically is gonna be for my numbers as parameter. This is gonna be the last my regular number without the last digit. Okay, because this removed the last digit from my number, and then my reverse number is gonna be reversed multiplied by 10. I do gotta ask Sensei/ChatGPT why do we multiply it by 10? So reverse multiplied by 10 plus my n modulus 10. Okay, this gets me the last number that that removes the last number. So every time this recursive call plays, I'm going to be removing a last number while getting that last number and multiplying it by my by 10 until my number is in 0. Once it's 0, I get the reversed order of my number, so I return that. Are you going to continue streaming after eating? This is really helpful for new starters like me. Honestly, I did want to stream for longer. That said, once my college is over, I'll definitely stream like for longer. Like before, I used to stream like for 6 hours a day. That said, because I do have an exam like this Wednesday, I do need to study for that. I just program while I'm streaming as well. But after my college is over, I'll definitely stream for longer. That said, let's go ahead and create a integer main function with a pair of parentheses or a pair of curly braces. My main function will be having a parameter of number, which is going to be an integer. And then let's go ahead and add a standard console output with an insertion operator. My standard console output will have a parameter of enter a number. Okay, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and end that with a semicolon. That said, let's go ahead and add a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my number variable ending with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Now let's go ahead and create another variable called reversed to check if my reversed variable is equal to. Honestly, not to check, I'm going to set my reversed variable equal to my palindrome function with a numbers as parameter. Okay, so whatever number So whatever my palindrome returns here, that is going to be the reverse of my user's input. So if that reverse user's input is equal to my reverse number, that is going to be considered a palindrome. So let's go ahead and add a if statement to check if that's if that actually is correct. Guys, I cannot phrase. I'm kind of exhausted. Okay, so I'll go with something like number. If my number equals to my reverse number, I'll do something. Integer variable is not getting used in numbers. The integer variable is not getting used in numbers. Do you mean like my integer variable here? Because my number is going to be an integer. Okay, I think I didn't understand the question. That said, if my numbers is parameter or my numbers is variable is equal to my reverse variable, I'll add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like, this is a palindrome. This is a palindrome. Okay, and then I will end that with a semicolon. That said, let's go with an else clause. Else a pair of curly braces. I'm going to be adding a standard console output. There we go. Okay, so I'll add a standard console output with an insertion operator that says something like, this is not a palindrome. Okay, and then I'm going to end that with a semicolon as well. That said, lastly, let's go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. If I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. Okay, it says enter a number. I'll go with 1, 2, 3. This is not a palindrome. If I were to run the command again, enter a number. I'll go with 1, 2, 2, 1. This is a palindrome. Okay, perfect. Honestly, I didn't want to go over recursion next stream as well, but I think I honestly might have to go over recursion next stream as well. Or I could actually try completing Sensei's question before I leave. Okay, because I do want to like wrap recursion up this stream and start object-oriented programming next stream. Okay, so let's read the question. Okay, so it says write a recursive function called, I have test for you. Honestly, what test? Is it like related to recursion, guys? Because I'm actually pretty excited for the test. Okay, so write a... Why do we need recursion? Honestly, the reason we do use recursion is sometimes when there are like, sometimes when we use loops for like more complicated stuff, recursion like simplifies it, like it gets one digit at a time. In the other hand, loop is going to make it more complicating. Guys, I actually can't phrase that part, but I do know why we use recursion. We mostly use recursion when like setting algorithms. I did hear about that online. Okay, let's see. So write a recursive function called count by 3. Okay, count divisible by 3 that takes an integer of n and returns how many digits are divisible by 3. Okay. And then rule/hint base case, if n equals to 0, return 0. Check if the last digit modulus 10. Okay. If the digit is divisible by 3, add 1 to the recursive call on n. Otherwise, just recurse on n divided by 10 without adding input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, output 3. Okay, this honestly shouldn't be that hard. Okay, let's get Sensei/ChatGPT here. There we go. There we go. Guys, is it just me lagging? Okay, perfect. Let me start off by deleting everything and including a pair of ankle braces. So let me go ahead and include a pair of ankle braces. I want to include IO stream. Next up, let's go ahead and create a function. So I'll go with an integer function that says count divisible by 3. So this function counts if a number is divisible by 3. I'll add a parameter of n. Okay, so a number, and then I'll go with a pair of curly braces. So honestly, let's go with a digits as parameter as well. So this is going to be n, and to see how many digits are 3. So honestly, I might not need that. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and add a base case. So if a pair of parentheses, let's say something like if my n is equal to 0, I'm going to do something. I'll go with a pair of curly braces. Inside, I'm going to return 0, ending with a semicolon. Okay, now for my recursive case, I'm going to do something else. Let me go ahead and add an if statement, honestly. So I'll firstly check if a number is divisible by 3. So I'll go with if a pair of parentheses, if n modulus 3, okay, so if n modulus 3 is equal to 0, if a number is divisible by 3, I'm going to do something. Let's go ahead and return Let's go with something like 1 plus invoke my count divisible by 3 function, add a pair of parentheses. This is going to be n divided by 10. Honestly, I could go with n divided by 10 that removes the last number. Okay, I feel this is correct. I could go with like n minus 1 as well. Okay, that goes with n minus 1. Honestly, no, I do need to go with n divided by 10. Okay, that removes the last digit. I need to check for something too. Okay, let's go with something like... Okay, so if n modulus... Okay, wait, let me go ahead and add a pair of parentheses here. If n modulus 10, okay, if my last digit, modulus 3, equals to 0, I return 1 plus... Okay, perfect. I think that works. Let's go with an else clause. So I'll go with else, a pair of curly braces. Okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages of using a loop versus recursion? I feel like recursion keeps things more simpler. In the other hand, loop makes things more complicated. Although loops are useful like for like iterating over stuff and everything, but if recursion could do something, I think that we wouldn't use loop for that. It depends on the problem, honestly. That's just in my opinion, guys. You guys could like fact check me. Okay, let's go with something like returns. I'll invoke my count divisible by 3 function. I'll go with just n divided by 10. Okay, ending with a semicolon. So what this basically means is if my last digit, modulus 3, is 0, if it is divisible by 3, I return 1 plus my next digit. Else, I just ignore that digit. Okay, let's go ahead and create a main function now. So I'll go with integer main, add a pair of parentheses, and then a pair of curly braces. Inside of my main function, let me go ahead and create a integer of number. Okay, and then add a standard console output with an insertion operator. This says something like enter a number, ending with a semicolon. Okay, and then let's get a value for my number. So I'll go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. I want to extract my number variable, ending with a semicolon. That said, lastly, let's go with a standard console output with an insertion operator. I gotta display my number. So I'll go with something like invoke my count divisible by 3. Okay, and then add another insertion operator of a / new line, ending with a semicolon. Maybe a pair of parentheses here, and add my numbers as parameter. Okay, lastly, let's go ahead and return 0, ending with a semicolon. Okay, if I hit Control S to save the code and run the command, let's see what happens. So this should check if a number is divisible by 3. I'll go with something like 1, 2. 3 is divisible by 3, 6 is divisible by 3, 9 is divisible by 3. Okay, 12 is not actually 1 and 2 is not divisible by 3. If I hit enter, there we go, perfect. 3 numbers are divisible by 3, 3, 6, and 9. Perfect. Let's go with the Control C, guys. I actually feel like I understand recursion. Okay, I should most likely move on to object-oriented programming from next stream. Kinda excited for that. Let's go ahead and paste this, go with Shift Enter and say, I feel like I understand recursion much better now. That said, I did not master it, although I am planning to move on to OOP next stream. That said as well, I am planning to end the stream for now. So is there anything that you want to say to the viewers before I end the stream, question mark? Guys, because I do got a lot of college assignment and I'm hungry as well. That said, let's see. Okay, guys, the reason ChatGPT's chat is lagging, /sensei chat is lagging because I haven't changed it for like 3 whole days. Okay, pupils of the stream, listen closely. Vivek has worked hard his brain to the bone today. Even when recursion was twisting his mind like a pretzel, he stayed focused, practiced, and solved problems. Some on his own, some with teamwork, but every single one was a step closer to mastery. Remember, repetition is how the mind forges steel. Okay, you see him practicing sum of digits, counting odds / even digits, palindrome, factorials. Every problem builds the mentality builds the mental muscle that will make him a coding beast. If you're watching, take this as a challenge, push your limits. Don't just watch, practice alongside him. Every line of code you push, every line of code is a push up for your brain. Now go eat, hydrate, and rest, and come back ready to conquer object oriented programming next. This isn't just learning, it's a warfare on ignorance. Vivek, people, you did well today. Now go get that food, recharge, and don't come back soft tomorrow. Who else is ready to level up with him next time? Okay, that's it. Let's go to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for the stream. I did want to stream for longer honestly, but I am kind of starving. Plus I got an exam this Wednesday, so I do got to prepare for that. That's it. If you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like, helps with my algorithm sharing, makes you smile, and subscribing is like a cherry on top. And guys, soon I am going to get my PC, and once I do get my PC, that would fix all my lag issues. So I will be multi-streaming on Twitch, Cake, YouTube, maybe TikTok and Instagram at the same time as well. TikTok and Instagram only if I met the followers requirement. That's it. If you guys do enjoy my content and haven't followed me there, make sure to follow me there and also join the Discord server. You guys can get access to this. You guys can get access to the Discord server by typing exclamation Discord on chat. That said, I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace.